What's up everybody? Today in Skyblock, we are going to be testing out how effective sprinklers are and fertilizer, both on manual farms and on automated farms. We want to figure out, are they really worth it? If you want to know, this is the video for you. Let's go. All right, in this update, we got a lot of new agricultural items. Among those are the sprinklers and the fertilizers to help us make our crops grow faster. Now, both of them just affect crop growth speed. And so a lot of us, either you've been farming manually, like this carrot farm here, which we have set up for bait, or if you've been doing more automated farm setups, we're gonna figure out between all of these setups, are sprinklers worth it? And is fertilizer worth it? So do us a favor guys, hit the like button if you would. Don't forget to sub, turn on the notifications and put your Roblox username down in the comments below to enter our weekly $10 Robux gift card giveaway. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna test here is fertilizer. Is fertilizer worth it? So we've got a little carrot farm set up here with sprinklers, and just a little bit of a note on design. We have found that the water catchers are definitely the best way to supply water to your sprinklers, because unlike the water barrels, they don't need to be refilled. They actually just get water out of the sky or whatever. It's like a rain barrel or something like that. And so we have a lot of these set up because we want to make sure that these sprinklers never run out of water. So it may look like overkill, but catchers are pretty cheap. So right here, the water catcher is a beginner item, so you can do it on any of the workbenches, and it's just 10 iron and 10 wood. Now, 10 iron might be a little bit hard for you to get at the beginning of the game, but pretty quickly you're gonna end up with so much more iron than that, it's easy. So yeah, we've opted for the overkill method with our catchers every single time, because why not? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and harvest all these carrots right here, at least some rows of these, so we can get a sort of comparison side by side of fertilized and unfertilized. So let's do some harvesting real quick. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put the fertilizer down on 3 of these rows, and the other 3 rows I'm gonna leave completely unfertilized. So you put fertilizer down before you place the seeds, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go with carrots as my test. So I'm gonna do my best to plant all these quickly. I'm gonna plant across the columns here, or the rows, so that we're planting relatively at the same pace. So let's get going. All right, we got them all planted out. Now it's time to just watch the carrots grow. All right, so I got my first harvestable carrot at 1 minute and 40 seconds right there from the fertilized side. None yet from the other side, but let's keep an eye on it. And there we go, the first harvestable carrot at 2 minutes and like 50 seconds on the unfertilized side. The fertilized side is completely done up, so it's about a full minute faster on fertilized soil than not fertilized soil. Let's go ahead and harvest all these carrots. The real issue though is that making fertilizer, while it's pretty easy to do, the time it would take to fish and then make the fertilizer kind of outweighs the advantage on time, honestly. However, you know, if you've already got the fish and the fertilizer and you're not selling the fish, then it certainly doesn't hurt. But you know, all in all, I would think that you probably have better stuff to do with your time. I don't know, it's up to you. All right, on to the automated farm stuff, guys. Now, we have been looking at whether or not sprinklers are gonna fit into our automated farm designs. And because of sprinklers and barrels now needing to fit, these sort of cylindrical towers that we've designed might need to change a little bit. So we've been toying around with designs for efficiency. And so this design that you see right here, we think is probably one of the more optimal designs, and you can see how this would be easily stackable. So you could just either go vertically up by stacking these out, or you could actually just go ahead and extend these out row by row. Just keep in mind that each sprinkler covers a 3x3 square with itself at the center, and then each totem will extend 3 squares out to harvest that and replant that onion. So right here we have an optimal design. We've also figured out that placing barrels directly on top of the conveyors leaves enough room for the onions to slide right underneath. And so this is the most space-saving design that we can come up with. You could then just build your second layer right up on top of this and get a nice compact tower. But with this design, we're probably gonna go with more square shapes again instead of the round shapes that we've been doing with our tower. Of course, now onions are dropping on these belts and they're coming off oily, so you'll wanna do a washing station. Now, we made a video just the other day showing you how to take any tower design and stick an automated washing system underneath it. So now, regardless of what design you use this one, or you have an existing automatic farming system that's outputting oily crops, our design is a quick and easy way. You just need a lot of washers. But once you got the washers, it's an easy way to wash them all and go right back to the automated farming that you were doing before. All right, so next up, we're gonna test whether or not losing a spot to these sprinklers is actually worth it, because this would be one harvestable area. So we've got 2 of these things set up side by side, and we're gonna run an experiment to see which is absolutely the most efficient way to do it. We're gonna have some numbers. So let's jump over, do the shout out of the day. We'll come right back and do this experiment. And shout out of the day goes to Gabe. They say vibin', subscribe, swaggy. Absolutely. Hey guys, if you want to get shouted out on our next video, you got to go over to our TikTok. We got a link in the description. We are at Beirooted. Go over there, follow us, like all of our videos, watch them 5,000 times each. Leave a comment. We'll shout you out on the next video. All right, let's get into this experiment, guys. Now we're going to measure what's best, sprinklers or no sprinklers, right? So we've got sprinklers taking up 2 of the spots here, and we figured this is the optimum design, the most compact, space-saving design that we can come up with, and you can stack this into a tower. Now, after this experiment, we're actually gonna show you again how to attach an automatic washing station to the bottom of this. But for now, let's go over here and let's go ahead and run this experiment. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plant both of these out side by side with onion seeds. And because we have chests over here with glass blocks, we're gonna be able to see which chest is filling up the fastest. And when one of these fills up all the way, then we know we can stop right there and see which one happened the fastest, right? So this one has more plots for onions. This one has less plots for onions, but it's using sprinklers, all right? So let's go ahead and plant these up. So let's get going right here. Let's see if I can plant it up real fast, and then we're just gonna flip on a time lapse so we can just watch the whole thing unfold. All right, now that everything's planted and it's gonna start growing, we're just gonna watch these chests for overflow, and let's see what happens. All right, actually guys, there's 5 in all slots right there. And on this chest right here, we have 5 in 5 of the slots and then 4. So this is definitely a lot faster. My timer says about 19 minutes so far to get this one to fill. So over time, it's not that big. It's actually not as big a difference as I thought. And that's because the efficiency of the sprinkler, and also because we're actually taking up a space by placing the sprinkler there. But guys, it's also important to note that this is called a basic sprinkler, meaning are they gonna have more advanced sprinklers? Will they be more effective, or maybe they'll have a larger range? Either one of those would be a huge advantage, because we're either gonna have less space taken up by the sprinkler itself, or perhaps it'll be making the crop grow even faster, but I'm not sure how that would work. It's hard to measure at just this little scale, but at a larger scale, it could be a lot. It could really add up if you have like a mega farm. And this farm design, we feel like, is probably one of the most compact and efficient designs you can go with. We've got a totem for every strip on either side, so we get maximum harvesting rate. We've got sprinklers spaced out just perfectly so that there's no space unwatered and there's no space overwatered. We've got extra barrels, one on top of each of these, because they're cheap and why not? And we want to make sure the sprinklers always go no matter what. And of course, you can always extend this out linear. So the direction I'm running right now, you just copy out each row and you keep going. But if you'd like to expand this over the gap, you could go this way too. And all of your onions would be falling down this channel right here. You could remove that staircase and just have a straight drop there. So you would have something like this, and you would be dropping them all straight down a shaft, and then you would catch it in a big funnel and go into your washing station. All right, so my tower over here is the big cylinder type tower, and then we retrofitted this tunnel. So we put out a video just the other day on how to completely retrofit your existing automatic farm to now use washers, okay? And so I'll link that video down in the description so you could find that. But I'm not gonna show all the details in here, but essentially we've got everything from our tower dropping down into this funnel right here, and see how it's catching all the onions, is dropping it onto these belts. We're then washing it, and then from there on, we're not putting it back on belts, we're using a stair conveyor. So we've actually found out that you can put a washed onion on a belt and it won't get oily. But it's mainly when it comes out of a totem onto a belt, that's when the onion gets oily, or whatever produce it might be. But we've decided to keep everything onto staircase belts because they're just so much faster than a regular belt. So when you have a really big tower like this, these staircases actually run things a lot quicker. So the big question is it worth retrofitting your existing tower that's configured maybe like this? I could go in here and put barrels on top of these conveyor belts or wherever they'll have an empty space, and then just sort of place sprinklers around. That would increase efficiency some, or I could tear the whole thing down and just rebuild it in that new configuration like we just talked about. I think I'll probably end up tearing the whole thing down and rebuilding it. I think that efficiency boost will actually get our towers back to the point where we're making as much money as we were before. All right, guys, I think that's everything. Right now, we have to see what kind of more updates we will have to the agricultural system in this game. So if we make really big changes, we might need to change them once again. So you have to ask yourself, is it worth it reconfiguring your farm, or just go ahead and add a washer to the bottom of your existing farm and go from there? If you're just starting out, lucky you, because you can just build it the new way from the start. And that's actually a really efficient design anyway. And so I think that this round cylinder design has kind of seen its day, and we probably won't be making them like this anymore, at least unless something changes again. So that's it for now, guys. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below or join the Discord server. Links in the description. You know, we're always trying to figure out the latest and greatest designs. So if you want to stay up to date with what we're doing, I'll probably do another video really soon, sort of highlighting like my whole tower reconfiguration and see how that goes. And we'll run some numbers against each other. I'll time this one and I'll get the data from the next one, and we'll see if it actually comes out better. All right, guys, I'm gonna see you in the next video. Peace.